Hi, welcome to today's Facebook Live by Navitai. Today I'm going to cover a very interesting topic. Are you over exercising? Now, most of the time, just getting people to exercise is the biggest issue. But you would be surprised to know that there is a certain percentage of our population who over exercises. So today's session is for people who want to understand if they are over exercising or not, because over exercising can be dangerous too. So stay tuned till the end of the session while I cover what over exercising is and what are the dangers of over exercising, and how can you find out whether you're over exercising or not. How can you measure the level of your intensity and your workout? All right, so if you can see me, hear me, type in a hello in the comment box and we'll get started. Welcome to people who joined in. Thank you for your patience. I had to start the live session quite a number of times to get through. If you can see me, hear me, type in a see you, hear you in the comment box, so I know I'm audible and I'm visible. All right, and who am I? I'm your host. I'm Ruma. I'm a certified fitness trainer. I'm a certified fitness nutritionist, and I am a women's fitness specialist from International Sports and Sciences Academy USA and National Academy of Sports Medicines USA. I'm also the founder of Navitai, and recently I was awarded the prestigious Times She Unlimited Award by the Times of India Group. All right, and today's session, what we are covering is, are you over exercising? So I'm going to cover it in three parts. The first one is, why do people over exercise? The second one I'm going to cover is, what happens when we over exercise? The next, I'm going to cover the WHO guidelines. What is meant by right amount of exercise? What is the right level of exercise? And at the end, I will share with you how can you measure the level of your exercises. All right. So stay tuned. I'll start with, why do people over exercise? Now, there are many reasons for which people over exercise. Well, for one of the reasons is, all right, I'll cover that reason later. But the first reason that I see people over exercise is when they start on a weight loss journey. They suddenly see that they have put on weight and they want to reduce their weight, and what do? They start eating less and start exercising more. That is a very common thing that people do, and that leads to over exercising. They feel that the more I work out in the gym, the more I work out, the more calories I'll burn. The more calories I'll burn, I lose more weight. So that's the number one reason why I see people over exercise. Number two is, sometimes they are pushed by their trainers. Many people feel that pushing on, many trainers feel that you have to push people, you have to push people, you have to push people, and they just keep pushing their clients, their customers, and as a result of which many of the people over exercise. And they also get into a mindset that unless I push myself, I will not see the benefits of exercising. So that is another reason why people over exercise. Number three reason why people over exercise is as a punishment, right? That is a very common mindset. They say, they ate something junk food over the weekend, and they say, let me go burn it out in the gym. Well, that's nothing less than punishing yourself for having something that you probably shouldn't have eaten, or probably could have eaten. If you eat a healthy 90% of the time, and another 10% of the time you wanted to indulge yourself, you could do that. But oftentimes what people do is they get into a guilt trip of eating a pizza on a weekend, and what they do, they just go and they think that I'll punish myself by over exercising and burning those calories off. So that is another reason why people over exercise. And the last reason why people over exercise, and I am a victim of that, is, and hence I wanted to cover it at the end, and I see few people also in that category, is the way exercise makes them feel, right? And so people like me, they get a lot of excitement out of exercising. I feel stronger. I feel that, I can conquer the world. I can get rid of my stress. So it gives me a feeling of high. And that is a very common thing that happens with exercising. It releases happy hormones in our body, and it makes you feel good. It takes you, it transports you to a different world altogether. And then what happens when you constantly keep feeling those kind of emotions, you get addicted. So exercise addiction is also a reason why people over exercise, right? So how many of you are here with me? How many of you are over exercising? Which of the categories do you fall in? Do you fall in the category of over exercising, or you fall in the category of no exercising at all? Put it in the comment box, please. Over exercising or no exercise at all. All right, so moving on, I guess the comments will take some time to show up. Nonetheless, keep taking down your questions, and I will take all the questions at the end. All right, because it takes some time for the questions to come in. And if you wait till the end to put in your questions, then it may so happen that we'll close the session and the questions will not get answered because they would start coming in only later. So keep putting in your questions, and I will get to them shortly. And for people who are just joining in, I'm Ruma. I'm your host for today, and I am a certified fitness trainer, certified fitness nutritionist, and a women's fitness specialist from International Sports and Sciences Academy USA and National Academy of Sports Medicines USA. I am your host for today, and we are covering, are you over exercising? All right, so we now know the reasons why people over exercise. Now we are going to cover what happens when we overexercise. Now, one of the analogy that I draw is, think of a car and think of you've gone for a long drive. Yeah, and you just run your car at say 100 kilometers per hour, 110 kilometers per hour, and you do not give it a break. What happens? You constantly run it at 100 to 110 kilometers per hour without a break. What will happen to your car? Thoughts? Put it in the comment box, please. You know what will happen? Your car will break down. And that is what happens to our body. We break down. We stress, we strain, and end of the day, we break down. When we over-exercise, when any kind of exercise, good or bad, is a stress on our body. Sometimes when we do it at the right quantity, at the right intensity, it is a good stress. But the moment we overdo, it is a harmful stress on our body. And what happens due to that is there is a heightened level of cortisol hormone that's running in our body. And cortisol is a stress hormone, and cortisol gets released in response to any stress condition, whether it is an emotional stress or a physical stress where you put yourself through a lot of stress, it gets released. And when cortisol gets released, what happens is it dumps sugar directly from the liver into your bloodstream, to give you that extra rush of energy to get past that situation of intensity or emergency. When cortisol levels are high, your weight loss efforts will be thwarted. So if you're over-exercising for weight loss, then it's not going to work. One of the reasons why people over-exercise is because they want to lose weight. And if you're doing that, then that strategy or that planning will not help. So stop over-exercising. The another thing that will happen is you will feel stressed out by the evening. Say you're a person who exercises in the morning. If you're exercising at the right intensity, then you should feel energetic throughout the day. You will have a lot more focus through the day if you're exercising right. But if you're exercising more than what your body can take, then you will feel less and less energetic throughout the day. You will feel fatigued, you will feel tired, you'll feel like, I just need to go and rest. That is a sign that you are over-exercising. Another thing that is going to happen with over-exercising is you may have very disturbed sleep pattern. The amount of stress that is there in your body you may not be able to relax your muscles. Your muscles will be in an overdrive, and your muscles will not be able to relax, and your sleep will be disturbed. The next thing that is going to happen is you will see that you're getting into injuries very, very frequently, very, very frequently. Yeah, and that happens because your muscles are not recovering. Your tendons, there is an extreme pressure on your tendons and ligaments, and you will get into injuries, especially joint injuries, and the strains on your muscular strains, very, very common in people who are over exercising, right? So given some of the ways people injure themselves is our knee issues that we see. We see an excessive wear and tear in the knee joint. We see people who weight train. So knee injuries we see more in people who are into running. Yeah, and when you over exercise, overrun, your knees, your ankles get impacted. People who do weight training, very common injury is tennis elbow, because of the heavy weights that they are lifting. So you have to be able to we exercise to benefit our body, right? So the intensity has to be right. If it's driving you into injury, that clearly indicates, if you get frequent injuries, it clearly indicates that you are over exercising and you should slow yourself down. All right, so those are the perils of over exercising. Over exercising does not help. It will only put you at risk of injury, will take away your sleep, will come in the way of your weight loss efforts, and it doesn't help. So how many of you are there with me? How many of you over exercise? How many of you don't over exercise? How many of you do just the right amount of exercise? Put that in the comment box, please. It helps me understand who I am talking to, because I cannot see you. You can see me, you can hear me, but I don't know your background. So if you tell me more about yourself, I'll be able to talk about the things that will make a difference to you. So do you over exercise, or you are a person who do not exercise, or are you a person who does just the right amount of exercise? What kind of a person are you? Sometimes over exercise. All right, Abhilash. So looks like you are in my category as well. Okay, great. Thanks for your response, Abhilash. And I request all of you to keep putting in your questions so that I can take all of them at the end. If you stay back till the end to ask your questions, you know what is going to happen? This technology is such that the messages are a little delayed. It doesn't come to me immediately. So we would have closed the live session and your question would go unanswered. So do not keep it till the end. If you have any question, then please put it in the comment box. All right? Okay, great. So now moving on, what is the WHO recommendation for exercising? Let me read that out for you. So WHO has come out with the guideline. I think it was 2020 guideline. 2021 is yet to be published. The 2020 guideline by WHO was 300 minutes per week of moderate intensity exercises. Okay, 300 minutes per week, and that results in 50 minutes per day if you work out 6 days a week and take 1 day of rest. All right. So the guideline is 50 minutes of moderate intensity exercises per day, 6 days a week with 1 day of rest. And then, and for high intensity exercises, it has been asked to perform for 30 minutes per day, very high intensity exercise, 30 minutes per day, 6 days a week with 1 day of rest. All right. So that is what the WHO guideline is. Now let's see how we can identify moderate intensity exercise and high intensity exercise. How many of you would like to know or like to be able to understand whether you quantify the intensity of your exercises? How many of you would like to know that? Put in an I in the comment box, please. I in the comment box. Whoever wants to know how to understand the intensity of the exercise, quantify the intensity of the exercise, type in an I in the comment box. All right. So, as the comments come in, I'll start. The measure of intensity can be calculated with, with a term called target heart rate. You know, every exercise, so your heart rate, when we exercise, our heart rate goes up. And the heart rate should go up only to a certain level while we are exercising. It should not exceed that. If it's exceeding that, it means you are over exercising. Your heart rate should always be in that range. All right. And how do we calculate target heart rate? So target heart rate is the concept. You have to stay within your target heart rate. And how do we calculate target heart rate? Chalo, you ready for some exercise with me? Okay. So this is the calculation. Start doing it with me. All right. The first thing that we need to know is your resting heart rate. Resting heart rate is nothing but your heart rate at rest. You know, right now you're just sitting and I'm giving Gyandan and you're just consuming it as a passive audience. So you're at rest. All right. So the first thing that we are going to do is measure your heart rate at rest. And this is what I want you to do. I'll set up a timer for 30 seconds and I want you to measure your heart rate. You know, there are a few ways you can do that. You can do it on your wrist, or you can do it at your carotid artery. This is more, this is easier to find. So what I recommend you do is put your fingers here on the right side of your neck, and you will find your pulse here. Okay. And once you find your pulse, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a timer for 30 seconds. That's my phone. I wanted to set up a timer. While you find your pulse, I'll go get my phone so that I can start the timer. All right? I am so sorry. 1 second. Let me start the timer from the mobile itself. From the computer. Let me see if I can do that. All right. Okay, so when I say start, you start, and when I say stop, you stop. All right. So you found your pulse, right? Yes or no? Yes or no in the comment box, please. Hello, audience. Don't be so quiet. You know, this is a fitness knowledge session. You cannot be quiet. You have to be active. Yes or no in the comment box. Have you found your pulse? Yes or no? And start counting your pulse. And when I say stop, you stop. All right? And stop. So now you have counted your pulse for 30 seconds. All right? And you've counted your pulse for 30 seconds. Now multiply that number by 2. So you would get your beats per minute in a minute. Got it? So you would have got 25 multiplied by 2, it will be 50. If you got 30 multiplied by 2, you would have got 60. And you can get anywhere between 60 to 100. Clinically, you are good if your heart, what you found right now is between 70 and 100. Clinically, you are a medically fit person. Okay, got it? Now, okay, so now this is the calculation. I want you to write that in a piece of paper. 220 minus your age. Do this calculation, 220 minus your age. So if you're say 40, you do 220 minus 40. If you're 45, do 220 minus 45. Okay, got it? And once that is done, you do minus the heart rate that you just got. You just calculated it, right? So minus that, you'll get a number. Now multiply that by 0.7. And I'll tell you the significance of this number 0.7. All right? Just hang on, I'll tell you. Multiply that by 0.7. Again, you'll get a number. Now add your heart rate back in that again. and you will get a number. Type in that number in the comment box, please, and I'll tell you what to do with that number. Did you follow the calculation? Anybody who did not follow it, type in a clear in the comment box if you could follow it, and then type in your number as well. Let's see. So what this number indicates, this is your, so when we say that moderate intensity exercise, what it means is you should be operating at 50 to 70% of your maximal heart rate. 50 to 70% of your maximal heart rate, and your maximal heart rate is 220. Akshay got 153. Awesome, Akshay. So I'm going to, so what you got, the number 153, 150, 144. Awesome. Great. Awesome. So these number, what it indicates is that this is 70% of your maximal heart rate. You remember you multiplied this, the factor that you got by 0.7. So your maximal heart rate is 220 minus your age. That is your maximal heart rate. And if we had to do a straightforward calculation, we could have just multiplied it by 0.7, which is 70% of that heart rate. And you should be exercising at 70% of your maximal heart rate for moderate intensity exercise. So moderate intensity exercise is defined as 50 to 70% of your maximal heart rate. But we did an additional thing. We adjusted it based on your resting heart rate, right? Now, here's the concept. Listen to this very carefully. This has a little bit of science around it. Now, every person has a different resting heart rate. When you sleep and you wake up in the morning, that is your actual resting heart rate. But this was just a very, close approximation. Now, what resting, a person who is very, very conditioned, athletes, their resting heart rate is very low. They will get a resting heart rate of somewhere around 50, low 50s or high 40s. That will be their resting heart rate. And people who are not very conditioned, I was saying clinically fit, you will be between 70 and 100. All right. So hence, it cannot be the same formula for everyone, 220 minus age. We have to also take into consideration what is that person's, how advanced is that person basically. And hence we have factored that into when we calculated the moderate intensity rate. Okay. So moderate intensity, when you're trying to calculate your heart rate, how much heart rate you should target when you're just going to do a moderate intensity exercise, do this calculation where you multiply it by 0.7. Now, what is high intensity exercise then? Moderate intensity is 50 to 70%. High intensity falls in the category of 70 to 85%. Don't go beyond 85%. All right. So you can do the same math. 220 minus your age minus your resting heart rate multiplied by 0.85 plus your resting heart rate. Do this calculation and you will get your heart rate for high intensity exercises. All right. So keep yourself at that level. I hope this is adding value to you. And if this is adding value to you, why don't you press a like and a love for this video, please? Deeply appreciate that. If you're liking what you're hearing, then a like and a love for this video, please. All right. So that is how you identify your intensity level. Now, another way in which many people, this is a quantifiable way. Another way people try and identify the right intensity level is, when you're starting, if you can walk and you can talk and sing, meaning, it's not exerting at all. But if you can talk, but you cannot sing, that is considered to be moderate intensity exercise. So that is another way people, kind of quantify their not quantify, it's more a perception basis that they try to understand the intensity of the exercise. All right. Now, what I recommend, my recommendation is, and we work with people across the world. We work with different kinds of people. We work with people who have never exercised before and have absolutely no motivation to exercise. That is the major category of people we work with. And then we also work with people who are so enthusiastic that they over exercise and we have to calm them down. Yes. So my recommendation is, yes, I cannot overrule the WHO guidelines. So stay within the WHO guideline. 50 minutes of moderate intensity exercise 6 days a week is good. Stay within that range. Definitely take a, hi Ollie, definitely take a break for a day. That is the day when do not exercise all 7 days a week. You need to take 1 day break so that your body can recover, your muscles can relax. So that day of rest is important. Now, when I say that you exercise 50 minutes per day, 6 days a week, it does not mean that you just do 50 minutes of exercise 6 days a week and you do not do anything throughout the day. That is not what I mean. You have to hit your target of 10,000 steps every day. That is the baseline. That is the minimal for an active lifestyle. All right. On top of that, you should do 50 minutes of moderate intensity exercises 6 days a week. Is that clear? So it's not that you just do 50 minutes and rest of the day you just laze around in the sun. You move around, you walk around, you be active. You walk in the house, you work in the house, you work in the garden, you be outside, move around. You need to be active. And on top of that, you do 50 minutes per day. 50 minutes per day, 6 days a week. Drink plenty of water. When you are exercising, every hour of exercise needs 500 ml of water. So do not forget that 500 ml of water. All right. So that brings me to the end of the session. If you found this session valuable, please put in a like and a love for this video. And if you have any questions, whether related to this topic or any other topic, I'm ready to take that now. And I also want to talk to you, while you're here, talk to you about something very exciting that we are up to at Navitai. If you've been following our page, you would know that we have recently launched a Women's Health Mastery Starter Kit. It's a course, it's a curriculum, and it is power packed with 5 more courses. So the primary course is Women's Health Mastery Starter Kit. It is for middle-aged women to maximize their health and vitality and reclaim their youth. That is the primary purpose of the course, and it is powerfully bundled with 5 more courses. The first course is Women's Nutrition to Balance Their Hormones. Second course is Women's Exercises to Boost Your Metabolism. Third one is the Portion Control Formula. Fourth one is abdominal fat reduction formula, which is a very, very common problem. Ask me, a very, very common problem in middle-aged women. And the last one is group coaching, weekly group coaching calls. So it's a power-packed course. Very, very proud of that course. And I feel that course is going to change the health of women in India. And that has been inspired by the pain and suffering of my mother, who went through a lot of pain through her life. Only if I had the knowledge then, I could have positively impacted her. But I didn't have that knowledge then, which I have now, and very proud to launch that course. If you have a moment, please do visit the cover page of Navitai and you will get full details about the course. All right, so I welcome you to take a look at the course and see the contents. Any questions? Did you get all the concepts that I explained? Looks like this is a very intelligent audience. No questions at all. You got everything in the first try attempt itself. All right, so great. Thank you so much for joining in. I do not see any questions right now. I'll just scroll up once to see if there were any questions. Pratibha Shri Pandey, if you're still there, you're saying, I do not exercise. I go go for walk around 1 hour. Pratibha, I would recommend you one thing. Please do visit the Navitai live videos, and I covered this in great detail. Is walking enough for you? What are the right exercises for you? Walking is not enough. You need to build in some more exercises into your routine. So please do. I recommend you go through that video, and you'll get a lot of information from there. All right, Pratibha? Okay, great. So thank you so much. Covered all the questions, and thank you for being a great audience today. I'm so sorry for the initial glitch today, and I thank you for your patience to sit through that and join me on the third attempt. Thank you so much. Have a lovely weekend ahead, and happy Valentine's Day to you in advance. Take care. Bye bye.